Oh, you started?
Mm-hmm. Good morning. I don't know if I started. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on Anatomy's feed and not mine. Should be, because I did it as a page that I manage, so.
Did it show our feed?
What do you mean, our feed?
Should we end it and start over? Good morning.
Good morning.
Are we on the right feed?
Are we on my Facebook or the Anatomy of Marriage Facebook? Can you please, please?
I wish we knew how to do anything. Ever. Once.
All right.
Oh. Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Okay.
Check, hello.
Oh, thank you so much.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
You saved the day. Excuse me.
Okay. Good morning, hello.
All right.
Welcome to the pre-show. We haven't started rolling live yet.
Rolling
but
the
we're
D.
about to. All right.
Gotta do my hair first. Okay. Ready? Let me check my levels. Check. Nope.
Check, hello.
What you always switching these up for?
Hello.
Check. Oh. Hello, and welcome to the Anatomy of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Ms. Melanie Stisnudley.
Oh,
okay.
Sweet.
Try your levels. Go.
Hello, check. Good morning and welcome. Hello. Everybody go to Instagram right now. There's a new post.
Woohoo! Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
We're speaking in Atlanta.
We're gonna be at the Love Out Conference. Woo. What are we doing?
I like changing keys.
Thank you.
Who?
Okay, we gotta start. Is what
All
we
right,
need to, what we gotta do.
All right. Can we go live here?
Hold on, this stuff's all messed up. Okay. Check. I think we can start. I think. Okay. Go.
Don't start until that's all right.
Hello and welcome to the Anatomy of Marriage podcast. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
Good morning. My name is Seth Studley. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. And today is episode 302. And we're going to be talking about fighting in front of the kids.
If you're new here, welcome. We have 302 episodes about all things marriage related because marriage can be hard and we don't want yours to be as hard as ours was.
That's right.
And as every day we do the thing we do every day is we go live on Instagram and Facebook. And as always, our show is brought to you by Audible. You can get a free audiobook on us when you go to audibletrial.com/anatomy of marriage. Please do that. It helps us out. But more importantly, you get an amazing free audiobook. So check it out. No thanks. You are not Kev on stage.
I'm not copying.
You're not going to do that.
It's in my mind.
But we're talking today about fighting in front of the kids, and we have a listener question that we were going to answer. But before we do that, let's read the review of the day.
All right. 5 stars. Whoop, from Kirsten.
Just read the
Kirsten DeJesus. Best marriage podcast out there. This podcast rocks. My husband and I have listened to so many different podcasts over the years, but after a few episodes, I usually get annoyed with the host. I found this podcast looking for something to listen to personally about healing from the purity culture movement. After just one episode, I knew I found a great resource. This podcast is full of real people and real talk and has opened the door to many amazing conversations for us. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. If you want a real talk conversation about purity talk, go to the Love Purity Culture, the Love Hour podcast, the one that we were on. I don't know what number it was, but that was a hilarious and awesome conversation.
It was the long-term impact of sexual shame and purity culture on marriage. It was a great episode.
Oh, wow.
And we just did 2 interviews yesterday about all this that are going to air soon. So thank you for that review. If you haven't rated or reviewed the show and you like the show, please do that. It helps us out a ton. But our question for today is, have your kids seen you bicker or have disagreements? Shout. Also, have they seen your tears? I lie awake at night knowing that my kids have seen me get emotional, tearful if their dad and I have a disagreement. Sometimes in front of them, and I hate this. There's just never really a time when the 4 kids aren't around. I want to know how to discuss things without getting stressful. Do you think it is good for kids to see emotions? I try to explain at times, but then I also don't want them to look back in years and to come and remember mom crying in the bedroom because she had an argument or is having a stressful moment. I know feelings are natural, as in discussion. I try to get them to validate their feelings, so I try to when I have mine too. I just hate the feeling of regret with that they've seen me so vulnerable and a hot mess. They're all under 10 years old. And then it says, maybe I can call a timeout if things aren't going so smoothly. I know I can't change the past, but how can I stop this ruminating that I've somehow given them bad memories of me feeling stressed out or sad? Also, I worry that they're feeling emotional and they're a hot mess, and I blame myself for that too.
Okay, let's get rid of that blaming. We're going to get rid of that. We're
Ain't no shame in the game.
That's right. We're going to normalize this whole thing. So I have a lot of thoughts about this as a therapist. So clinical thoughts, right?
Okay.
There is this thing that we do with clients. It's called the ACEs, ACE, right? And that is called the adverse childhood effects, I think. Or
Events?
Something. Yes, geez. Okay. Anyway, it's called ACEs, right? And it asks questions like, okay, did you witness domestic violence? Screaming, yelling, abuse, of all this stuff. And then you get kind of a score on that. And that is an indicator of, okay, let's talk about these things, because these things do create pathways in your brain. Mm-hmm. I remember very distinctly witnessing my parents yelling and throwing stuff, and it wasn't cool, right? And oftentimes we, from family of origin, we play those things out in our own marriage, mm-hmm. right? So I want to normalize this stuff, right? So kids, we are emotional people, right? And we don't want to hide those emotions, but we want to keep them in balance, right? So if things do get out of hand where you're kind of yelling back and forth, there's been definitely times when you and I have done that and kids have seen you crying.
We don't yell though.
Well, we don't yell, but they know that something's up.
They
right?
know we're upset.
You just know, right? So we want to normalize that. It's not going to mess your kids up. However, if you do that very often, then that can create adverse childhood effects for your kids, right? Mm-hmm. And then they're going to think all these other different things that might be not beneficial to them later. So what you want to do is normalize this. Hey, mom and dad are talking. I'm fine. She's fine. Whatever. And we're just talking right now. We're having a disagreement, but it's a really great learning opportunity for the kids for the parents to model healthy communication, healthy behavior, healthy resolve, or healthy, hey, we're tabling this right now, because what you're doing is also building their emotional resiliency and building their patterns of how they communicate or not communicate and show emotion.
Yeah, and I think that's the one thing I wanted to point out more than anything else. Yes, kids have seen people argue, kids have seen kids or parents crying, and that's a part of life, but as your job as a parent is to understand that you are teaching your children how to behave in these moments. So when they become teenagers and young adults and they are in a relationship, you're teaching them, do you just chuck something at dad's head? Do you scream in his face because you're so mad? Or do you yell at your partner and say they're dumb? You're teaching your kids how to respond to stressful situations, how to manage their own frustration, how to manage their anger, etc. So in our app, we have an app. It is called Get Your Marriage On. There is a clearing structure tool that used to just be a PDF on our website. It still is a PDF on our website, anatomyofmarriage.com, but in the app, it is an actual interactive tool now. So you can open up the clearing structure inside of the Get Your Marriage On app, and you can walk through the things that you're having conflict about, and you can show your children how to, you can say, hey, sweetie, I'm really upset about this thing. I'm going to get the app out and use this tool. Yes, it sounds as dumb as it could possibly be.
No.
Meaning, it's the last thing you want to do when you're mad. The last thing that you want to do is be like, I'm going to utilize this helpful marriage tool right now. You just want to cuss somebody out.
Phone at you instead.
But it is the most helpful thing that you could possibly do, because one, it's training you how to understand what you're actually thinking and feeling, what you actually wanted. Sometimes we don't know what we actually want, and we just want to cuss somebody out. That's how we feel. So I would highly recommend to this person, get off of the idea that somehow I've ruined my children, is all over. There's a couple things that you can teach them from using these different tools and techniques. One is that mom can control her own anger. Mom can actually change. My kids have seen that. My kids have seen me say to them, in the past I've been really sarcastic to your dad and I shouldn't have done that. I am sorry. I don't want to do that anymore. And then I change the behavior. So I model the ability to change, which is huge.
Right.
right?
And I love the saying, more stuff is caught than taught.
Yes.
Right? And there was a perfect example of this. Like one time, this was like a couple of weeks ago, I held the door for a lady, and she was an older lady, and she was like struggling to get out. So I like got up and just held the door for her. And our middle son was with us, and he witnessed the whole thing, and he was like, he gave me a thumbs up. He didn't say anything, but he saw me like hold the door for this, and it was like, I was like, yes, absolute score, right? So more things are caught than taught. I want to be mindful of time and remind folks to pray together. And what do we want people to know about today's show other than answering the question?
Well, I just want people to know that the resources... So this podcast is 302 episodes of us pouring out our heart for marriages, right? That sounds hyper corny, but that's what we made this whole show for, is because marriage can be really complicated and it's really hard, but we have actual tools that will actually help you.
Right.
So go to anatomyofmarriage.com to look at them all. You can get the app there. You can find a link to the app. Just utilize these resources till the cows come home. That's what I want you to know. Go to anatomyofmarriage.com and check them all out. But
we have a couple of things for sale coming up, some bundles.
Now you're running out of time.
No, I'm not. So, all right, let me pray. Thank you, God, for your blessings. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to share what we have learned and also learn from this process. I pray that you be with our kids today, be with us, be with our listeners, help us to do things different in marriage, and thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Also, please protect me as I go to a Swedish death metal concert tonight.
And have a marriage morning dance party. Woohoo! Have a great day, you guys. We love you.
Bye.
Oh, it doesn't ever work. End live.
Okay.
Save.
Perfect.
Yay!
Okay. What's up, Facebook? Thanks for joining. Hey, Piggy. Good to see you.
I'm getting ready.
All right.
Oh, I didn't even turn that off.
Oh. That is funny. Share. All right, people.
My computer almost.
Hey, Josh, if you're still watching, I don't know why.
Why did it do that?
But we got new fancy lighting too. See, check it out.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
That is not going to work.
Sorry, that was not appropriate.
Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
What is
okay,
the phone
in the video,
doing?
I don't know what's going on right now.
It's kind of cool.
What?
It's like giant.
Why is it cool?